Welcome to the GuthrieAmerica Podcast. We sit down with the amazing people who do life in our community and who are from our community because I believe, every story should be told. I'm your host, Hetty Coleman. Today I'm sitting down with Autumn Lingerfelt. Autumn, what's your maiden name?
Pearson.
Okay, you don't have to get the mic that close.
I asked you.
like right here, Autumn, right here.
I asked you, man.
Yeah, right there. That's good. You're great. Right there. We'll just. All right. I'm sitting down with Autumn Lingerfelt, as we can see. Before we jump into this conversation with Autumn, would you please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and leave a review? It would mean the world to me. Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, if you would, please. This episode is brought to you by Trilogy. Trilogy is an independent employee benefits consulting firm. They specialize in custom benefit solutions for employers and do not believe that one size fits all. Their passion is helping employers create benefit packages that attract and retain top talent in their field. Education is the key to employers and employees understanding and getting the most out of their employee benefits. Check out trilogy-alliance.com. Maggie and her team over at Trilogy are doing amazing work. Autumn, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. Thank you for coming to hang out with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now, have you lived your whole life in Guthrie, or did you move here at some point?
I lived most of my life in Guthrie.
Okay.
I was born actually in the village in Oklahoma City, but I moved here within like 2 months. And then I lived here my whole childhood, and then I went away and lived in Midwest City for like a year. Hated it, so I came back.
Yeah. Midwest City? Like, why all places?
Well, my husband at the time wanted to live in Norman, and that was too far away from my mama.
Oh, so. Got you. So that was in your adult life that you moved away to Midwest.
Yeah,
okay, got you. I see. How do you describe GuthrieAmerica to people? Like when somebody finds out you're from Guthrie, at least for me, it seems like inevitably they ask about Guthrie.
What's Guthrie?
Oh, is that what most people?
Usually, yeah, that's what I get. And I just say it's my hometown. It's about 30 minutes north of Oklahoma City. It's got a bunch of antique malls and antique shops and just a quaint little town.
Yeah. And so you started school here, graduated. Mm-hmm. I always love to just pick people's brains on who are some teachers that stand out to you that you still remember to this day.
Okay, he was the band director, but he wasn't my band director. But he was the drummer band director. It was Mr. McDonald, and he was also my English teacher my junior year. I don't have any idea why, but 22 years later, I still remember him as one of my favorite teachers.
Oh, so, really? He taught you what?
English.
Yeah. Now, whenever you were in high school, before you could graduate, did you have to do a senior paper?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
No, I don't remember.
Did you have to do a senior paper, Bernadette? Okay, you did. Did you have to do a senior paper? Tara, you can talk.
She said nope. I ain't saying a word.
She said what? Yeah, for English.
I mean, probably, but I don't remember.
It was like such a big deal. Like everybody talked about the research paper that you were going to have to do before you graduated high school. And so
I don't remember.
No, evidently you didn't do it either. I wonder what changed. Why did they find out that research paper was not adding any value to us, or was it just
this is a waste of time? We'll waste your time on something else now.
I mean, it was like the talk of the school leading to your senior year. Did you have to do it too? Okay, so I'm asking my mom, who's not. You can't. See, y'all all need mics. You did poetry.
We did a poetry book.
That's fun.
She said they did a poetry book. If you can't hear her, everybody to graduate high school, you did a poetry book.
You did a poem or something.
Really?
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's way more interesting than a research paper.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I had a really good time with my research paper because I won't tell y'all why, but I had a good time with my research paper.
You're a mess.
Okay, Autumn, here's a great question I'd like to ask. Your first job, Was your first job here in town?
Yeah, no, actually, no. My first job was at a daycare in Edmond. My aunt worked there. I don't remember. North Church at the. I don't remember.
That job.
There's some church in Edmond.
That job
I
did
worked
so
at.
much for your life.
Clearly, right? But
Oh
that
my
actually it was a daycare, and I work with kids now, so
Oh.
kind of.
Yeah, yeah. No, the mic has to be.
I'm at. Man, I am not good at this.
Use all the way. We talked about this before we
using
started.
My hands. That was my fault.
So you worked at a childcare, and do you think that made a difference? Like as far as like when you went back to school, you got your teacher's degree to teach.
I got a degree to teach. I don't teach.
No, but you got a degree to teach. Do you think that played a role in it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is it that you enjoy about kids? Because as long as I've known you, it seems like you have had some type of interaction with kids, just always, and then you get your teacher's degree. What do you think that came from?
They're fun, and
Yeah.
I can be myself, and I am weird, and they're okay with it. Like at church, we dance down the hallway, and most of them don't dance with me, but they smile. And, it's just fun.
Yeah.
I get to stay in touch with my childhood or inner child.
Inner child. I like that. And so whenever you're interacting with adults, oftentimes we're way too serious. And so to be able to be free like that and not be called out, it's always just fun to be around kids and still invest in them, still be an adult to them, but be able to be free and be yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Without the judgment, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. The Bible says, this is not a Christian podcast by any means, but the Bible says to be like a little kid. Yeah. Right? To have that.
To enter.
You
had to have a heart like Jesus.
To have that freedom. So, why does everyone always think their class is the best?
Because it is.
What class were you?
2001, baby.
That sounds so crazy.
Shut up, I'm so old.
No, you're not. 2001?
Yes.
My mom and I are both looking at you like, no. Because we won't share our years, no.
And then there's my daughter, 2022.
2022, is that the best year? Was that the best? Oh. What? She said the people in her class were awesome.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh my goodness! Did you not hear it? We keep the podcast up and positive and upbeat. Yeah. There you go. So, how did you end up in the military?
The real reason?
No, the fake one, please.
Well, two reasons.
Okay.
One, to help pay for my school, and two, because my dad told me I wouldn't make it. So I said, yeah, and proved him wrong.
So when he said you wouldn't make it, he's saying like, did you say, hey, I'm going to go into the military? And Dad said, hey, he didn't think that you would be a good fit for that.
Yeah, he didn't think I was mentally strong enough, I don't think.
Oh, got you.
Or it's possible that he was just like reverse psychologying me.
Yes.
Like,
have you ever asked him?
No, I guess I should.
Yeah,
it's probably a good idea.
It's not like you don't talk to your dad.
No, you're right. I do. And I was like, "Hey, Dad, why did you do that?"
I mean, I don't know if you have the best relationship, but I know you have a relationship.
We do.
It seems like
we have a
decent
relationship.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that would be a great question to ask.
You're right. It would be a good question.
But I'm thinking, like, for me, if my daughter came and said she wanted to go to the military, I probably would say the same thing. I don't think you're fit for that. I don't think you have.
Well, you remember how I said I keep in touch with my inner child?
Yes.
I'm a little soft.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what he,
probably, But it did something for you to where it's like, oh, I can do this. And you went.
I was in for 14 years.
Wow. Thank you for serving too, by the
course.
way. That is so cool. Now, when I first met you, then I learned that you were in the military, I was like, really?
I can show you my card.
I just wouldn't have never thought the military was your jam, but
most people don't.
But 14 years says that was your jam.
It was my jam. Yeah.
You don't be in something for 14 years and it not be. What was that experience like? Like to serve 14 years, like and I always think about when people are in the military, I think about traveling. I think about all the people you meet and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what is it really like?
Okay, so I was in the National Guard.
Okay.
So not quite as travel-y as, but I met lots of good people. I miss the people. They were amazing people. Most of them were amazing people,
Yeah.
you know. And I met people from everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because it's kind of like a melting pot. I know that may or may not be a good thing, but you know, it felt like a good thing because I got introduced to a lot of different cultures and a lot of different kinds of people that I wouldn't normally get introduced to. So
yeah, that's super cool. Did you ever have to do did you have to go to war or any of that?
No,
Okay.
I got hurt.
Okay.
And I got hurt in 2005 and hurt my back pretty bad and they wouldn't let me go. So,
Okay.
yeah, my ex-husband went twice. He went to Iraq and Afghanistan. And I say that because we were in the military together. That's how we met. And so he went, but they wouldn't let me.
Okay. But they let you stay in, I guess, because you could do it
For a little while.
Yeah,
for a little while. They were processing the paperwork. I was medically discharged.
Okay.
You know, like,
Do you think you would have stayed in and retired?
yes, if they would have let me.
Yeah, yeah. That's super cool. Let's talk about something that I don't know when it started, but you started having some kidney problems, right? What happened? What was that? How did you find out? Like, what were some of the symptoms? Bernadette and I were talking about this last night. It was like, what are the symptoms? Like, what starts happening when you find out that you have some kidney situations going?
Okay, well, initially I got diagnosed in 2005 when I had that back injury. They did an MRI and they were like, hey, you've got some cysts on your kidneys. And I knew that was a possibility because my dad has polycystic kidney disease and it's a 50-50 shot that I will have it as well and my sister will have it as well. And they just said, yeah, you've got it. And so I started blood pressure medicine pretty quickly after that just to try to maintain my blood pressure. And that was really the only thing that was a problem for a long time. You know, I'd see my doctor yearly and then around November of 2020, he was like, hey, there's a problem. I was like, what you mean? He said, your kidneys are failing. And I thought I had another 10 years before I had to be going through all of this. But he said, nope, it's time. So
wow. And did you think that because the doctors had told you that? Like, you probably won't have to have any situation until you were 60. Did they just kind of go by age or?
Well, my dad didn't get sick until his late 40s, early 50s. And genetically, he lived pretty long before he had troubles. And so genetically, I was hoping, and my doctor was hoping that it would turn out that way, but God had other plans.
What and so you go to the doctor, you have the cyst, and then you get on the blood pressure medicine to kind of help keep the blood pressure, so not to work the kidneys as hard. Is that the reason?
Yeah, it's really weird that my kidneys and my blood and my heart work really, really well together, except when they don't. And when my kidneys are failing or, going bad, it causes your blood pressure to get higher. And the higher your blood pressure goes, the faster your kidneys go. And so it's really weird how they work in tandem.
So 2005 is when this first happened, where you learned about the cyst. You already knew that your dad had some challenges with his kidney, right? And so is it common that if one of your parents have kidney problems, that the child is more likely to have kidney problems, or?
Well, this specific disease, the polycystic kidney disease, the way it works genetically is if you have it, there's a 50-50 chance that each one of your children will have it. And so just genetically, that's just how this one works. I don't know about other kidney diseases, but yeah.
Talking about children, let's talk. You have children. You have 3 children.
I do.
And they all graduated from Guthrie. Like, when you were younger, did you think in your mind, like, one day I'm gonna have a family, they're gonna be Guthrie, and my kids are gonna graduate from Guthrie? Was that ever a thing for you?
No. No, I never really thought about it, and then I got pregnant pretty young after high school. And I just, it just kind of where I got planted and
Yeah.
where I stayed. So
Yeah, I guess the younger you are, probably you don't think about that as much.
No.
You're just thinking about surviving.
Yes.
And taking care of that
yes,
baby. And so,
the baby
like,
has
you know,
to get to schoolhood, and then we'll talk about it.
yeah. So I definitely can understand that. I just always think, like, there's some people who, when they grow up a place, they kind of envision their kids being there and also doing that.
Yeah.
I know I kind of do that with my children. Like, I'm like, how do I create something that I can convince my kids to stay around? Because once grandbabies come and all that stuff, you know, you want to be around them. So, but you did have kids. All your kids graduated from Guthrie.
They did.
Do you ever have conversations, or did you ever have conversations while they were still in school about your experience at the high school versus their experience?
Kind of. I mean, we had similar experiences because we were all kind of nerdy. Excuse me, my Tara was not nerdy. She was not nerdy.
Tara was not nerdy.
She was not nerdy. My apologies. But Matthew was pretty nerdy.
Yeah.
You know, Brindley was pretty nerdy. You know, and so was I. So we just kind of had pretty common experience. So we didn't really really talk about it a whole lot.
So like it was kind of like whenever you would hear about their experience, you like, yeah, that was the same for me.
Yeah, been there, done that, sister.
Yeah, so I guess that can be the case as well.
Yeah.
But you know, I think about in our house, our kids go to Guthrie, but the experiences seem so much different. Like even the way that they hang out outside of school. Seems so much different. Like, I always talk to people about, like, we used to cruise downtown. Did y'all cruise downtown?
No, I was a nerd, Hetty. Was
other people cruising?
Yeah, for sure. Other people were. Or they would go out, like, to some field, like, way far away and drink.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea where that was because I didn't do that.
You didn't mess around with that?
No.
Yeah, we did that as well when we were younger. Going out to a field. I didn't quite understand that. Or they would go to the river. I mean, I would go sometimes, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to be out in the middle of nowhere. Like doing that. Let's hang out in town.
Right?
Like, just a little bit. But no, those things were common. Mom, did y'all, when you were in high school, were y'all hanging out? Like, did y'all cruise downtown? Did we talk about that already?
That was going on. However,
You weren't doing it.
we were walking Perkins and going out to the swimming pool at Favor.
Oh, got you. So my mom was talking about walking to Favor because that's where the swimming pool was, and that's where they would hang out. You wasn't doing much cruising and doing that. But they were doing that back?
That was going on, though.
Really? Was it down Division?
It was down Oklahoma. You would cruise over by the high school, which was where the junior high is.
Okay.
And they would probably do Division.
Got you. Yeah, she's talking about. My mom just said when the high school was at the junior high, they would cruise Oklahoma, but she wasn't sure the route because she was walking to the swimming pool. Wait, the swimming pool was like during the day though, right? You weren't. They were cruising during the day.
Well, what I'm saying is,
I know this is Autumn's podcast. We should have gave you a mic, but
yeah, and it has to do with it was still all black kids.
oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, especially when they.
That's what I was thinking. Segregation was still you went.
Yeah, Favor, and then because at the junior high, by the time when y'all did integrate, you were at the high school, the new high school. Oh, you in 8th grade? So you never went to Favor?
I went to Favor 1 year.
Was Favor 8th grade?
Favor, when I went there, it was 7th grade, and then we went over to what was back then, the high school for the white kids, and then they changed it into the junior high school.
Got you. Oh, so you did do a year at the junior high as the high school?
Yeah, junior high. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought you were always at the new high school. Oh, okay. Wow.
Favor 1 year, then I went to the junior high, the new junior high for 1 year, and then I went to the high school.
Got you. Wow, a little bit of history there.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and so, but anyway, going back to just talking to our kids about when you go to the same high school as them, just talking about the differences, and oftentimes just the hanging out and all that has changed, and so, but yeah, so that's cool. What's your favorite thing about to do in GuthrieAmerica? Like, do you have a store, a go-to something that you have?
No.
No.
I like Cleveland and Co. I don't go there very often.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do like it. That
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that word.
Mercantile?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I like
Cleveland
that
Cove
place.
Mercantile.
Yeah.
What about, have you all visited Yum Yum?
Love that place.
See?
It's so good. I don't go very often, though, because
Yeah.
it's expensive. Love you, Kara.
It's not in your budget.
Not normally,
to
no.
frequent that on a regular basis.
No, but we go there for a
But-
treat.
But everybody, which is good. You probably
Yeah.
don't need too much of it
No.
anymore, right?
No.
But everybody's really loving that place. Like the
Because
ice cream is
it's
so
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I might want some.
I know, right? What we doing for lunch?
Yeah, what are we doing for lunch? Are they open for lunch? I just want a big bowl. So, okay, do you do Missy's Donuts?
Not normally. The sweets kind of upset my stomach early in the morning.
Gotcha.
But I love their barbecue sandwiches, though.
Ooh, I haven't
Love
had one of
that.
those in a while. I like those as well.
Love it.
Now, did you do Daylight Donuts when you were growing up? Was Daylight
Yes.
still? Okay,
Yes.
that was the thing.
Love me some Daylight Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did,
Oh yeah. Danny used to take the kids every weekend. And his mom was actually really good friends with the owners, so they
gotcha.
would go all the time.
oh, wow.
Yeah, Tara even remembers the ramp.
Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yes, I know exactly what she's talking about too. Do you remember when they closed down?
When Missy's came, but I don't remember exactly when.
So were they still open when Missy's came originally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember when my memory's not very good, but I was like, were they still around when I came back to Guthrie? And I feel like they were.
Probably.
Yeah, because Missy's had been. It feels like they've been around for a long time, but they haven't been around that long.
No, like 10 years maybe.
10, has it been 10? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Somebody leave a comment. Tell us how long Missy's
Yes.
has been around, if you would. All right, here's a question. I just recently started asking because I think it's always interesting. Like, who were some of your best friends growing up? Like, are they still living in Guthrie?
No, she doesn't live in Guthrie. I had one friend because I had a bunch of friends, but like I had one that I talked to pretty regularly.
Okay, yeah.
And that was Audrey Seymour, and she went to my church and she was homeschooled.
Okay.
So I'm sure whenever I went to school and talked about my best friend, they were like, okay, she probably lives in Canada, right? Like, no, she's real.
She's not real. You have an imaginary best friend. Stop. You are so funny. Where's she at now?
She lives in Midwest City.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. We keep in touch. This is really sad, but when people die, is when we see each other. I mean, it's honest. It's
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's how we are with most. Like even to this day, like some of the people that I was close to back then, if somebody funeral or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a class reunion.
Yeah.
So you've had two. Have you?
I
had
don't
two
know.
class?
I didn't go.
You didn't go to either one of your class reunions?
No.
Because you should have had a 10 and a 20.
I did. I had a 20, but the 20 was October of 2022. Whenever I was about to, was supposed to, or 2021. My apologies.
I was about to say,
I
wait
was
a
like, wait,
second.
that's in the future? No.
Are you about to tell us what's going to happen this October 2022?
Simpsons episode.
So what happened that you didn't go to your?
I was quarantining because my husband was about to give me a kidney.
Gotcha.
So I was not going to get COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Man, so going back to that, you've been looking for a kidney. You've been looking for somebody who can give you a kidney. Talk to me about that process.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
I don't really do a whole lot. But I've been looking. I'm active on the list since February of 2021, and I have decals on my car. My friends have decals. Amazing people have volunteered to put decals on theirs, and I've had lots of people reach out, and my team is working on sifting through and hopefully finding me one. Please, Jesus. Mm-hmm. And my husband was actually a match, but for some reason, the doctors were a little concerned about some sort of blood work. And so they ordered a biopsy, and 7 days before I was supposed to get a kidney, they called him and was like, you can't do it. You have kidney disease too. So yeah.
Wow.
He was unable to give me his kidney. So I post on Facebook, and it's really dumb, but I have a TikTok that I post on occasionally. I used to do it all the time, but dialysis is pretty much the same thing every day. So, yep, I'm still here. So it just kind of.
Oh, were you kind of like tracking your story of being on the dialysis and sharing it? Okay.
Yeah, like especially when I first started, I was trying to, last night was rough. I had 7 alarms, or whatever the case was, but I've kind of stopped doing that as often just because.
Tell me about the alarms. Like, I know Tara mentioned the alarms. What are the alarms? Because when I heard her say, I'm like, well, are they setting alarms throughout the night? Or
no,
I'm getting a sense that it's not that.
No, it's not that. I wish it were. No, I'm on. It's called Peritoneal Dialysis, where they I have a machine that I hook up to every night, and it delivers solution to my belly where it sits, and it works through reverse osmosis. And it pulls the toxins, and then it takes out the toxins, and then it does that several times through the night. If I lay a certain way, or if I move a certain way, my tube will kink, and I'll get it. It's called a slow draining alarm. Sometimes it'll stop draining altogether, and the machine will just stop working until I wake up and turn it off. So that's what the alarm is. So.
Gotcha. And so can the whole family hear the alarms? Is it a loud alarm or?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think we've turned it down pretty low so that I'm the only one who hears it. My husband sometimes hears it.
Yeah.
But usually when he does, he just kind of hits me and says, get up and fix your machine.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So you go through the process. You've been trying to get the word out, TikTok, social media, signs on your car. Mm-hmm. Do you host it? Have you ever hosted an event? And what does that look like? Do people host events for that or no?
I have not. People can do whatever they want legally. I mean, I was told I could do fundraisers. I could do bake sales. I could do kidney drive. I could do whatever. They didn't specify. As long as it's legal.
Yeah, as long as it's legal to find out. Why would you do a bake sale? Is that more for raising money?
Yeah, it would be for raising money.
Gotcha. And then a kidney drive, is that more for raising money, or is that to get people to do a certain thing in order to find out if they're a match with you?
It would be that. That would be to maybe do a blood drive to determine who's got the right kind of, determine who's got the right blood type, and then here's the number to call if you are the right blood type, and just something like that.
And you've done one of those, because I feel like I did it, or I went and got blood drawn to see if I was a match. Bernadette and
I think you guys went and gave blood for me. Yeah.
Because I still get the emails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for some reason I have not gotten a match, because I think I left it open to where if it wasn't a match for you, that they could reach out to me, and I hadn't gotten anything, but I remember doing that. But did we just go somewhere and do that, or was that? Yeah,
you guys probably just went to the Oklahoma Blood Institute and gave blood that way.
Got you. So people can go to the Oklahoma Blood Institute.
Oh, absolutely.
And just say, hey, what do they communicate when they get there?
Well, they just tell people I want to give blood, or tell them I want to give blood, and then ask for your blood type as well if you don't know it. If you do know it, you don't have to give blood, but that's one way to determine what blood type you are, so that we'll know whether you can even be a match.
Gotcha. And then whatever blood type that is, what blood type is that?
O positive is what blood type I am.
Okay.
And I was told I can take anybody who's O. So O positive or O negative would work.
So once they find out that they're O positive, O negative, they can say, okay, I'm the same blood type as you. Mm-hmm. And then is there a next step?
Yes, there's like 100 steps, it feels like.
Okay.
The next step would be to call the transplant center and the transplant coordinator and speak to him. And I think usually he makes people do blood pressure for 7 days and then go through the steps after that. So gotcha. I'm not really sure because I'm not on that side.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you know that there's several steps.
Yes.
After you say I'm O whatever, positive, negative, then there's a number of steps that you have to go through to get. I guess that's what Danny went through, right? Even though he was match, he went through several different things and then come to find out he couldn't. Okay. Coming back to GuthrieAmerica, do you have a spot that you stand for parades? Like, do you have a go-to? See, you know
Yes.
exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. What's your spot?
I think is it First Capital Bank, the bank on Oklahoma?
Oh, Interbank?
No, I don't.
Right down the street from Boutique 206.
Yeah, it's got the columns, and they usually put out.
Yeah, Interbank.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Then,
Interbank.
there.
Yeah, right there on Oklahoma and Broad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every
Interbank.
time.
That's where y'all go
Yep.
to. It's like we got a parking spot, then we're gonna walk to our spot.
Yep.
Now, do you have that spot because there's other? How did you decide on that spot? What made that spot be the spot for you? Do you remember?
Daddy's family said so.
Who's that? That's Danny's family spot.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
got you. That's where they always have.
Yeah.
Now, did you have a spot before?
No,
you,
I was always in the parade. I told you I was a nerd, bro.
You were in the band, but you graduated at some point.
I graduated, and then I didn't care about any of this for a
Okay,
little
you
while.
never.
No.
So when did you start coming back to the parades? When
Probably,
you didn't care no more.
probably when Brindley was probably 5 or 6.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
whenever I was with Danny. So.
Got you. So kind of the family aspect of it drove you back.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
I wanted them to experience some of the things that I experienced as a child. So.
Yeah, no, that's good. Now, being in the parade, since you was in the parade, really, she's trying to let us know she big time. You know?
Yup.
She's like, I was not standing on the side. I was in the parade. What was it like? Like, how did you end up getting in band?
I don't even remember. It was so long ago. Remember, like, I'm old. So I played the flute for like 10 minutes and not actually 10 minutes. I have a really wide tongue. And so the flute wasn't really a good match for me.
Is that how somebody explained it to you? Or
Yep.
is that how you learned? Did you discover this on your own? Or somebody like,
No, my
"Ooh,
band
that-"
director was like, stick out your tongue. And I was like, are you for real? He said, yep. And I was like, okay. And he was like, oh, you have a really wide tongue. Yeah, I do.
That's not a flute tongue you have there,
Exactly.
Mel.
It's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But
Okay, so he tells you that, but did you try and learn? And you're like, oh, my tongue is way too wide for the flute.
I was actually first chair flute for that 6th grade year.
Really?
I was. And then he was like, that ain't the fit. So he moved me to French horn for 7th grade. And
Really?
Yeah. And then I was first chair French horn for junior high because I think I was the only one. But
You shouldn't have put that out there.
I don't think I was. I think there was 2 of
You were,
us,
yeah, I'm
but-
sure. French horn is pretty. There's at least 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, usually, yeah.
So what about high school? You're not talking about high school. What happened?
I played French horn all through high school too.
What about first chair?
I ain't talking about it.
First chair was not your jam in high
No,
school?
it was hard because there were all these bigger kids who played better than me. It
Yeah.
wasn't fair.
Yeah. But you still hung in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't last chair like Danny.
Danny, I forgot Danny. Well, you know what? I think recently, he and I were meeting, try to get together, whatever, on Tuesdays or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think at that time he told me, I may have known before that, because what did he play?
He played the trombone.
The trombone.
I mean, he like held the trombone. I don't think he played it.
Danny, I have nothing to do with this, bro.
Love you.
Nothing to do with this at all. I'm just listening, right? I'm just asking the questions. All right, so let's get back to you, not Danny's band career, which sounded fabulous. Was he? Just one last question.
He got to go to Disney World with his
He
band
did.
career.
He told, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm making fun of him, but I didn't get to go to Disney World, so.
That Brentley got to go to Disney World too, right?
Yes, everybody got to but me.
I'm like, man, I think.
Well, Matthew and Tara didn't, but
Wait, they didn't. Were they?
Tara
in band?
wasn't in band, and
No.
neither was Matthew.
No, Matthew was.
He
not
was in
band.
junior high, but then
He
he had
was-
to pick band or football, and he chose football.
Got you. What if they would have told us that they were taking a trip to Disney World when you're a senior? I think more kids may be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna stick this out.
Right? I know. I tried, and then my band director quit my sophomore year. Like the end of my sophomore year, we got a new band director, and he's like, "We're not going to Disney World." I'm like, man, are you joking?
Yeah, like it's been happening ever since. Whatever.
Every time. Yeah, they go every 4 years, and so it works out that everybody gets to go.
Got you.
except my year. Jerks.
Oh, once every 4 years. So everybody that was from freshman to
Yeah,
that's the
everybody
way.
gets to go, and then
Gotcha.
yeah. I got to go to New Orleans though.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I marched in the Sugar Bowl.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was so cool. I don't remember most of it because it was a long time ago, but there were thousands.
That's what I'm about to say, right?
Of us. There were thousands of us, and there was like one little kid in the middle with some like accordion thing that he was playing, and we were like his accompaniment. It was so cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so cool.
Like, was he world renowned or something like that? Or,
at that time he was. I don't remember
Yeah.
the kid's name, but yeah, it was so cool.
That is really cool. Now, how did that come about? Like, was it because you all did something, or did they just pick high school?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I assume my band director put us in for it, and then we just won the ticket or whatever. So, yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I want to go to New Orleans. I've never been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been in as an adult. No, that's not true. I went after Hurricane Katrina. I helped clean up. But I have not been like since it's been rebuilt.
Was that National Guard, or did you do that?
Yeah, I
on
went
your
with the
own?
National Guard. I was there for about 6 weeks.
Got you. That is so cool. That way, let's stay on the band just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, what was it like every year? Like, what was the most exciting parade for you all? Because I know you did homecoming. I know you did 89ers. Was there any other parades that was a regular for you all?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, so we did homecoming, 89ers, Veterans Day. I usually marched with the ROTC for Veterans Day, but and then sometimes we did Martin Luther King parade.
Okay, yeah,
but not always.
Yeah.
I don't remember. And then of course 89ers. So,
Got you.
Yeah, and my favorite one was probably, even though it was hot, probably 89ers Day because there's so many people.
So many people.
Yeah, and
but
followed up by Veterans Day because
just what it meant.
Yeah.
But to think about you going to the shoot, like what year was that you go to?
2001.
Oh, your senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, because like if you went to the Sugar Bowl early, then you're like, these are not parades.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, right? Like, what are we doing? This is dumb.
This is not the same. But for us, it's great. But that's a really cool experience. I didn't know you had that experience.
Yeah.
That's really good. What made you stay in band? Like, I know a lot of
Disney World.
That did not happen.
No,
that did not happen. Yeah.
But we did go on trips every year, except my junior year. My freshman year we went to San Antonio. My sophomore year we went to Houston, and then we didn't go anywhere my junior year because we had a new band director. And then we went to New Orleans my senior year.
Yeah.
So we did get a trip.
Yeah, you all got several trips.
Just not the cool trip.
Yeah, well, those are for us who got no trips.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah. You taking trips every year.
That's valid.
Yeah. Whenever you were in band, did you find yourself, I feel like this is true for a lot of the kids, like you only really hung out with other band kids, or?
Yep.
Yeah, it was like, because Bernadette always teased me, and I probably shouldn't have did this, but I would call them band nerds.
Uh-huh.
Is that was that still hold true for y'all?
Yes.
Yeah, and it just seems like they were always. Bernadette was a little bit different because she was an athlete too, which was not very common. Like athlete and in band, but Bernadette's a little different like that.
Yeah,
like
she built different.
Yeah, she built athlete, band,
she
played every sport. Yes, every
Chameleon.
sport, everything.
I
So,
love
let's go back to the kidney thing real quick. Right now, we understand you still need a kidney. You're on dialysis. Definitely don't. Dialysis is disrupting your life to a certain degree, but at the same time, it's helping your life.
Yep.
Is that how that?
Yeah. It's not fun. I mean, I have to go to bed. Like tonight, I have to go to bed by 8:30 to be at church by 9 because we go eat breakfast. I don't have to, but we go grab breakfast on the way to church. And then we've got that meeting at 9, so I have to be hooked up 12 hours prior, because if I have my alarms or whatever, because my treatment typically takes 10 to 11 hours a night. But if I have a bunch of alarms, I twist, if I twist and turn through the night, it'll take longer, and I don't want to be late to places. So I have to usually, it depends on where I'm going the next day, and then subtract 12 hours because that's when I go to bed.
Wow. So when you say go to bed, you're essentially saying you just got to be hooked up to the machine. It's not like
Correct.
You're having to go to sleep at that moment. You just need to be hooked up to the machine.
Right.
And so is the machine mobile? Can you move it around the house, or do you got to be isolated to one spot?
I have to be isolated to one spot. That's why I say I go to bed. I have a 20-foot tether leash is what I call it because it's just a 20-foot tube that's tied to my machine at all times. And if I disconnect from that tube, then my treatment's over. So
now you said you were on TikTok with this. Have you shown the whole process? Like, have you walked through and shown the leash, the tethering kind of thing? Like, have you shown that to people, or
No.
you wouldn't do that?
Well, I mean, I could, but I didn't really think people cared to know. You know, I try not to complain too much just because I don't like complaining.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like that's complaining to tell people this is what I do every night. So I just try not to complain.
But had you thought about doing it?
No, I can now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
planted that seed.
Yeah. Well, I just think, like, for me, when I listen to this, and I've already tried, right? So my kidney doesn't work for you, but just listening is kind of like, man, what can I do? How can I help? And it may be the thing for people to actually see that process to be that much more inquisitive or asking questions to people, trying to get the word out about it. And so I just think it could be something that, and it's part of your story.
Yeah, it is.
I believe in when people share their stories, things can happen from that. And so, and it's not, I don't think it's complaining. It's being honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. My sister always tells me closed mouth doesn't get fed. So
come on, sister. That is so true. Then people complain. I'm like, did you ask me? No.
No, didn't ask.
Yeah, you hadn't said anything.
That's why I got a thing on my car. Like,
yeah,
that's,
you do, but you driving 100 miles per hour. I've seen you drive.
Whatever.
I've seen you. I'm like, what is that sign? What did that sign say? But that's not the same as you telling your story, though.
I know.
Like, there's a gazillion signs out there, right?
Yeah.
And so, and you just never know what can happen if you place that on, like, Facebook. I mean, mainly, I would think YouTube. Like, putting on Facebook is cool too, but YouTube is there. People are searching stuff. And you just never know.
True.
So, I would encourage you to do that. Okay, so tell me about, like, any conversation that you're willing to share, or if there's been any that you've had to have with your family about this. Was there a moment, like, with your daughter or your son, I'm sure your husband, that you feel comfortable sharing that really kind of to help drive home, like, what this is like, this experience?
Deer in headlights.
Does deer in headlights mean, like, there's so many?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like the relationship with my kids, it's not really strained necessarily, but if I get home at work I get home from work at 5 and I have to be somewhere at 8 the next morning, I have to hook up by 7. So I get like an hour and a half. I have to eat and go to bed. Like, and so I don't really get to spend a whole lot of time with my kids, and they can come in the room with me, but it's weird. Like, my bedroom is kind of my sanctuary, you know? So I've had to kind of move away from that if I want to spend time with my kids, I have to open my bedroom doors. And my husband has been really like, he does not like people in my room, but I've had to have a conversation with him. In order to spend time with my kids, you have to let me open that door. I have to be able to talk to my kids because they're my kids. They're my whole world. And I know they're grown, but they're still my kids. Yeah. And I have to be able, like, I can talk to him all the time in my room, but he has to be able to let me open the door. And that was a pretty important conversation, I guess.
Yeah, no, that I can imagine that. You know, I was thinking about my kids. I didn't make a social media post, but what did I say? But when I was growing up, you didn't go in your parents' room. Yeah. Now you kind of got that swag. Now it's like my kids live in my room. Yeah. And I guess that's me as a parent, but like I just think, like, man, when I went in my grandparents' room or like growing up, it was not the business. Like, you were not supposed, even though at some point I think that rule just goes out the window when you got a gazillion people living in the house. True. Yeah. True. But still, like, I just think all night long my daughter's walking in, I'm like, would you have your own room? Like, why are you in my room
Yeah.
hanging? Yeah. So, but anyway, it still happens, and we
Yeah.
love them. But yeah. So you had done a good job of like keeping that boundary, and then all of a sudden now it's like, oh, I need to let this
Yeah.
boundary needs to change.
Yeah,
in
and
order
it
for me
has
move
to
forward. Yeah.
for my relationships with my family, and that's been tough for him.
Yeah.
Just having to adjust.
Yeah. No, and typically it's easier for moms to adjust to that kind of
Yeah.
stuff than for dads, and so I understand, Danny. I understand, but at the same time, I understand where you're coming from in that as well.
Yeah.
So moving forward from like today, looking for a kidney. I know that you recently started working, so that puts another kind of strain, another kind of now I got to go to bed that much earlier, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
What has that been like?
It's been hard.
Yeah.
Just adjusting to my job is pretty stressful. So the stress of that combined with I have training in Norman, which is an hour away at 8 a.m. So I have to, like I said, I have to go to bed by 7 p.m. so that I can get up on time. That's been an adjustment, but I'm just trying to make the best of it.
For sure. Well, that's good. Okay, coming back to Guthrie. Well, you live in Guthrie. We haven't left Guthrie, but coming back to talking about Guthrie.
Sure.
When you see the signs "Choose Guthrie," what do you think about?
Shop local.
Shop local. Like, what is that? Is that like making it a priority to you? Or?
Yeah, it means basically just keeping your money here. I mean, if you go to Edmond and spend your dollars, which we're gonna do that later today, we're going to the movies. In my defense,
Okay.
so
Yeah. There's no movie theater in
No,
Guthrie, so yes, that's true.
just keeping your money local, keeping your business local, your family local. That's what Choose Guthrie means to me.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. It's about making it a priority. You can't always do things, here,
Right.
Locally, but every chance you get, please do kind
Yeah.
of thing. And so thank you for sharing your story with me today.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
having
this was
me.
fun. Yeah, we should have gave Tara a microphone over there in
You
the corner, and my mom, everybody. When somebody's in the room, you got to talk to them, right?
Right?
And
You can't
they-
just act like they're not.
Yeah. They add to the fun of the podcast. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening in for another Guthrie America story. We are on a mission to have every story told of those who are doing life in our community and from our community. Will yours be next?